NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has hardly opened its eyes, and the universe is new.
The James Webb Telescope has just captured a terrifying object in space, sparking new questions among scientists. This strange object, known as Oumuamua, has confused astronomers since its discovery. The recent image taken by the telescope might finally reveal the truth behind this strange interstellar visitor.
Please explain to people what Oumuamua is, why it's so extraordinary, and why you think it's possible that it came from some other intelligent civilization.
Could it be something more than just a space rock, possibly connected to extraterrestrial life? Let us dive into the chilling story of Oumuamua and what this new image might reveal. And trust us, this is just the beginning of what will leave you questioning everything. The space rock we nearly missed. Back on October 19, 2017, folks caught sight of a peculiar object called Oumuamua moving quickly through our solar system. This thing had been around for over 100 years, but nobody had spotted it until then. It had reached a significant space landmark way back in 1837, yet no astronomers were able to spot it then. For many decades, Oumuamua cruised through our solar system undetected, maintaining a steady pace, but it somehow stayed off the radar of both astronomers and their powerful telescopes until 2017. That year, Robert Weryk, a researcher at the University of Hawaii, finally noticed something unusual. He saw a long, faint streak across the sky through the Pan-STARRS-1 telescope. What he was looking at was a swiftly moving object, the likes of which no one had seen before.
But on October 19, 2017, Pan-STARRS spotted an object moving rapidly between the stars, and this time the usual follow-up measurements of position and speed.
Could this be a glimpse into the presence of something far more advanced than we ever imagined? Stick around, because what comes next is even more shocking. At first, the scientific community thought Oumuamua might be a comet because it just didn't behave like typical space rocks. But then they classified it as an asteroid, those small rocky bodies we usually find floating between Mars and Jupiter. Yet as they kept watching it, they noticed Oumuamua was getting away from the sun faster than expected, making it hard to pin down exactly what it was. The thing didn't show any signs of the usual comet behavior, like emitting gas as it sped up, which really threw off the scientists, making them second guess if it was really an asteroid or a comet. One of the coolest things about Oumuamua was how it kept getting brighter and then dimmer every 7.3 hours. This suggested it was tumbling through space, probably spinning along its shorter side. This kind of movement told scientists that Oumuamua wasn't just your average space rock. It was tough, made to last much longer than the usual fragile comets made of ice and dust. It had a dark red color too, similar to the moons far out in our solar system, which hinted that it had been floating through space for ages, getting hit by cosmic radiation that changed its outer layer. As the experts dove deeper into the data, some started to wonder if maybe Oumuamua was something straight out of a science fiction book, like a high-tech alien probe or even an old piece of alien spacecraft, though others thought it might just be a new kind of comet or asteroid.
You came on my radar when you were discussing Oumuamua, is that what I said?
Yes, that's the right thing.
Oumuamua, which is an object that we detected in space that you believe could...
There were also those who thought maybe it was a broken piece from a planet in some other star system that got destroyed. No one could really agree on what exactly Oumuamua was. Figuring out where Oumuamua was headed next was also tricky because it had already started moving away from the sun and was leaving our solar system at quite an angle. The latest guesses are that Oumuamua is on its way back to roaming through the stars, continuing its long, lonely trip across the universe. When Oumuamua popped up in 2017, it sparked a whole lot of chatter and excitement among space buffs, scientists, and just about everyone else. This odd visitor from outer space, the first of its kind we've ever confirmed, kicked off a whole bunch of guesses and debates about where it came from and what it really is. Was it just another wanderer of the cosmos, or was there a chance it was some kind of alien gadget sent to peek at our solar system? At first, the folks studying the skies pegged Oumuamua as a rocky thing, maybe an asteroid, but its shape was weird, super long and skinny, about 2,624 feet end to end, but only 262 feet across, not matching any of the usual rocks floating around our neighborhood in space.
We had to invest $10 billion in the Webb Telescope in order to find the first generation of galaxies.
As they gathered more info, some started to think maybe Oumuamua was packed with gas, which could explain why it suddenly picked up speed as it moved away from the sun. Then came an even wilder idea. What if Oumuamua wasn't a natural object at all, but some kind of spacecraft from another world? As experts kept discussing this strange object, Oumuamua's unusual behavior led to even more interesting ideas. Did aliens send this? The strange way Oumuamua moved, speeding up when it shouldn't have, really made people think. Normally, comets speed up because they spew out gas and dust when they get close to the sun and warm up. But Oumuamua didn't show any signs of doing that. So some scientists began to wonder if it might be an exploring probe sent by beings from another planet. Sure, it sounds like something from a movie, but for those open to the idea of aliens, it's a pretty exciting thought. Dr. Michio Kaku, a big-name theoretical physicist, threw out the idea that Oumuamua could have been tossed our way by a supernova, a huge star explosion far off in space. Tech mogul Elon Musk suggested that it might have come from a collision between two space rocks that melted together, giving Oumuamua its odd, stretched-out shape. Initially, it seemed like Oumuamua was heading towards Vega, one of the brightest stars we know, which got everyone excited because Vega is surrounded by a cloud of space debris. It looked like it might have taken Oumuamua about 600,000 years to travel from Vega to where it was found. But this idea didn't hold up once they realized Oumuamua's path had changed over time. Astronomers figured out that it must have whipped past another star system before it ended up here.
Why not do the obvious experiment and search for a radio signal? That's exactly what the Breakthrough Listen project did.
Its speed matched that of the stars in our local slice of the galaxy, suggesting that Oumuamua had been sailing through the Milky Way for billions of years before it dropped by our solar system. Another interesting theory is that Oumuamua is a piece of nitrogen ice, kind of like what you'd find on a distant, icy world similar to Pluto, that got knocked off by a big collision. For this to make sense, Oumuamua would have to be a lot smaller than we first thought. Even so, this idea has picked up some fans because it helps explain both what Oumuamua is made of and why it started speeding up out of the blue. One key discovery made soon after it was found was that Oumuamua was moving along a hyperbolic orbit, a kind of path that looks like a stretched-out boomerang, which showed it wasn't originally from around here, but just passing through. This led to a lot of speculation about whether we'd ever see Oumuamua again, with many thinking it would just drift off into space, never to return. Yet, Oumuamua kept surprising everyone, especially when it started moving faster as it got closer to the sun. While the gravity from big space objects like planets and stars can make smaller things like comets and asteroids move faster, that alone didn't fully explain the speed Oumuamua reached, which was about 177 feet per second. That's 54 miles per hour. Nearly 3 times faster than the average comet zipping through our solar system. This odd behavior made the experts rethink their first guess that Oumuamua was just an asteroid, leading many to wonder if it could actually be a comet after all. Most comets get their speed boost from a process known as outgassing. This happens when ice on the comet's surface heats up near the sun and turns into gas, giving the comet a little extra push.
I realized, well, one of the main limitations for using this technology to find evidence for the early hydrogen.
This gas release is also what forms the comet's tails. But Oumuamua, an unusual space object, didn't show any of these typical signs. Even without clear indicators of outgassing, scientists were keen to understand why it was behaving differently. They came up with several ideas to explain Oumuamua's unexpected speed increase, but each theory had its own issues and unanswered questions. Recently, 2 researchers, Jennifer Bergner from the University of California, Berkeley, and Daryl Seligman from Cornell University, suggested a new way to look at things. They thought that Oumuamua's actions might be due to outgassing, but triggered by processes outside our solar system that aren't well understood yet. According to them, as Oumuamua traveled through the space between stars, it encountered cosmic rays that could have released hydrogen trapped inside its icy structure. When Oumuamua entered our solar system and warmed up, this hydrogen might have started escaping, providing enough thrust to explain its observed acceleration. Their math showed that this hydrogen outgassing could indeed explain how Oumuamua moved. With each new idea, the questions only grew, showing that Oumuamua's path was anything but simple, the real truth behind the object. This idea isn't new to science. For years, experiments have shown that high-energy cosmic rays can separate molecular hydrogen from water ice and store it inside celestial objects. Seligman pointed out that their explanation is simpler and more down-to-earth compared to earlier, more speculative ideas, such as Oumuamua being just a chunk of hydrogen ice or made of some other exotic material. However, not everyone is convinced. Harvard scientist Avi Loeb, known for his bold theories, including the one where he suggested Oumuamua could be an alien spaceship, criticized their new theory. He argued that Bergner and Seligman might have made a mistake in calculating the surface temperature of Oumuamua, leading them to overestimate how much hydrogen it could hold. According to Loeb, the amount of hydrogen wouldn't have been enough to cause the acceleration we saw, so the question remains unsolved. Now that Oumuamua is far beyond our reach, figuring out its true nature or what it's made of might remain a lingering question. Still, Seligman is hopeful. He believes we'll encounter more objects from interstellar space soon, giving scientists more chances to study things beyond our own cosmic backyard. The next wave of telescopes, expected to come online within the next decade, might speed up this type of research and help answer some of the big questions about interstellar visitors.
NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has hardly opened its eyes, and the universe is new.
As researchers debated about Oumuamua's origins and why it behaved the way it did, they stumbled upon another intriguing possibility. Oumuamua might not be traveling alone. Recent findings suggest there could be another object from another star system accompanying it. This raises new questions. What is this companion object, and does it have any role in Oumuamua's unexpected visit? Could this indicate the beginning of a new chapter in our understanding of what happens in space? Or might it point to something even more extraordinary? Some scientists are now thinking about sending robotic probes equipped with sails to chase down and study Oumuamua more closely because of its unusual behavior and the unknown surrounding it. However, our current technology isn't quite ready for such a mission. Projects like Breakthrough Starshot are exploring the concept of sail-driven spacecraft that could travel to distant stars, but this technology is still in the early stages of development. While catching up with Oumuamua might not be possible at the moment, its brief visit has opened up new avenues for understanding future encounters with similar objects. Oumuamua's trip through our solar system might have taken billions of years, but in the grand scale of the cosmos, it was just a moment. Considering the estimated age of the Milky Way at about 10 billion years, Oumuamua could have interacted with up to 20,000 different star systems during its long voyage. Although this is just a tiny fraction of the estimated 200 billion stars in our galaxy, it suggests that Oumuamua has experienced a variety of cosmic interactions, possibly collecting dust and debris from different environments along the way. Some, like entrepreneur Elon Musk, speculate that Oumuamua might be heading towards the Kuiper Belt.
Please explain to people what Oumuamua is, why it's so extraordinary, and why you think it's possible that it came from some other intelligent civilization.
A region of icy bodies beyond Neptune. Tracking its exact trajectory has been difficult, though. To predict where it might go and what stops it could make, scientists use mathematical models based on a few observed facts. Despite their best efforts, pinpointing Oumuamua's exact location or verifying its future path remains challenging. One of the most perplexing aspects of Oumuamua is its unusual acceleration. While celestial objects are generally influenced by gravitational forces, Oumuamua's speed suggests other factors might be at play. Planetary astronomer Dr. Michelle Bannister proposed several possible explanations for this odd behavior. She thinks Oumuamua might still be outgassing, a typical action for comets where the icy surface turns directly to gas as it gets closer to the sun. This process could propel the object forward, changing its speed and rotation as it nears the sun, fitting the behavior observed in known comets where dust is pushed away by escaping gases. Yet, Oumuamua showed no clear signs of this typical comet behavior. Dr. Bannister thinks the object might still have small particles influencing its speed. To deepen the whole thing, astronomers have struggled to detect usual signs of outgassing, like cyanogen gas, which is commonly found in comets. Despite thorough searches, no gas emissions have been detected, suggesting that Oumuamua could be chemically different from any known comet in our solar system. As more information came in, figuring out what Oumuamua really was became even harder, pushing us to rethink what we knew. The object that defies easy explanation. In an effort to gather more clues about Oumuamua's composition, researchers tracked it for over 30 hours using the Spitzer Space Telescope, hoping to detect thermal emissions. Unfortunately, these efforts didn't yield clear results. The lack of thermal emissions and visible gas has made classifying Oumuamua even more challenging. Scientists think it might be more reflective than initially assumed if it exhibited thermal characteristics similar to those of a comet. However, the specifics of Oumuamua's reflectivity remain unknown. Reflectivity, or albedo, can provide insights into an object's size, composition, and surface features. While we've learned quite a bit about Oumuamua, no one has definitively determined what it is. Oumuamua continues to be a unique and confusing guest from another galaxy, challenging our understanding of celestial bodies and sparking more questions than answers. Many are curious about Oumuamua, pondering if it could be something incredibly unique or potentially dangerous due to its unpredictable path and limited reliable data. While some theories propose it might crash into Earth soon, most evidence does not support these claims. 6 months before Oumuamua nearly approached, a small interstellar meteor around 3 feet in diameter hit Earth. Although unrelated to Oumuamua, this meteor, named IM-2, caught the attention of Harvard's Avi Loeb. Loeb, drawing from NASA's spacecraft operations, suggested that an artificially created interstellar object might act as a mothership, deploying numerous small probes as it nears Earth. In their initial research, Loeb and Sean Kirkpatrick.
The thing about Oumuamua is that it was discovered on October 19th, 2017, a little more than 3 years ago. And it was the very first object.
Who leads the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, delved deeper into this idea. They discussed the term for UFOs, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, UAP, in their work. Their hypothesis was that these probes could be ejected from a larger vessel by natural forces like solar radiation or the gravitational pull from the sun. Due to their tiny size and minimal reflection of sunlight, these probes, termed dandelion seed probes by Loeb, might escape detection by our monitoring telescopes. These tiny devices could then drift into Earth's atmosphere, using advanced technology to slow down and avoid disintegration, potentially landing safely with the help of parachute-like mechanisms. Loeb's theories revolve around the idea that alien civilizations might be drawn to rocky planets with atmospheres such as Earth, Mars, and Venus. These types of planets would likely attract intelligent beings who might have sent exploratory probes long before we started our space missions. It's possible these probes might not always stay in touch with their main ship, which could lead to them being lost or becoming inactive over time. Loeb compares this scenario to checking for mail from someone who may no longer be alive, suggesting that these probes could continue their mission even if the civilization that sent them has vanished. Loeb has been met with significant skepticism from the scientific community after he suggested that
visited our vicinity in the solar system from outside the solar system. It moved too fast to be bound to the sun. Very first object that we have found coming to us from interstellar space, from other places.
Oumuamua could be an alien spacecraft in 2018. Most scientists consider his theories to be purely speculative without solid proof. A 2021 letter in Astronomy and Astrophysics argued that interstellar travel is implausible given the vast cosmic distances. This letter suggested that Oumuamua was more likely a natural object, possibly an unusually shaped rock, rather than an intentional probe from an alien civilization. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has stepped up its efforts to understand unexplained aerial phenomena within U.S. borders. Since its formation, the AARO has launched over 360 new investigations into sightings reported by U.S. military personnel involving unidentified objects. About half of these incidents have been attributed to balloons or similar objects, while the remainder are still unexplained due to insufficient data. To unravel the complexities of interstellar space and investigate objects like Oumuamua, we need a deeper grasp of dark energy and other cosmic forces. The idea of pursuing this odd object is fascinating but comes with significant obstacles. Oumuamua is traveling at such incredible speeds that it will leave Saturn's orbit in just 2 years, moving with a hyperbolic excess velocity of 5.5 astronomical units per year. This type of mission is unlike anything we've tried before, as even our fastest spacecraft fall short of these speeds. Is Oumuamua just a strange piece of space debris? Or could it be evidence of something more sinister, possibly even an extraterrestrial probe? Could this discovery challenge everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.